So now I'm going to teach you Indian foreign policy, the seventh chapter of your political science book. Many students said me that, sir, you should make videos on political science. So now I'm making video on political science. So this is Indian foreign policy. In this chapter, we will learn the basic features of foreign policy, India's neighbors, China, Pakistan, our policy with them, and so on. So let's start. Every surviving independent nation state has its foreign policy. Yes, it is very true. Every surviving independent nation has its own foreign policy. Simply speaking, foreign policy refers to principles basing on which a state promotes its international interests and objectives while interacting with other countries. Foreign policy simply it means that the state's interest and its objective while interacting with other countries. The aim of foreign policy is to promote its own interest and objectives. Okay. And not only with other countries, a state interacts with international organizations like United Nations. Okay. According to Hartman, the foreign is systematic statement of deliberately selected national interests. The foreign policy is the printing mistake is here. Foreign policy is systematic statement of deliberately selected national interests. It means that the objective of a foreign policy is to select national interest and fulfill them by getting help or interacting with other nations. Ratnaswamy said that foreign policy now is a bundle of principles and practices that regulate the intercourse of a state with other state. This is said by Ratnaswamy. Determinants of foreign policy. What are the elements, or you can say the parts, unseparable parts of foreign policy? Foreign policy is the result of the interplay of a large number of factors that affects a formulation of policy in different ways and different circumstances. Foreign policy is a result of interplay a large number of factors that affects the formulation of a policy in different ways in different circumstances. It means that foreign policy affects the forming of policies and policies in different situations in a nation, because foreign policy aims to fulfill the interest of nation by interacting with other nations, not only its neighbor nations but the global nations. Okay, so you have to change your policies in whichever circumstance to get that interest fulfilled by other nations, by the help of other nations. History and tradition. In the words of Nehru, a country's foreign policy emerges from its own tradition, urges and objectives, and more particularly from its recent past. This is the thoughts of Nehru. Domestic factor. Geography, size, location, and topography have played vital role in shaping our foreign policy. India is situated in the crossroads of Asia. India and Indian Ocean are indispensable link in the world trade and commerce. So, this factor is also very important for foreign relations and foreign policy because India has its unique geography, unique size, unique location, which plays a very important role in shaping our foreign policy. India is situated in such a position of Asia that no country can ignore us. And India is indispensable link in world trade because its position and Indian Ocean. Economic and military strength. These points are what? These points are determinant of foreign policy. What is determinant? The things which cannot be separated from foreign policy, which are the which determines the what you call creation, the arrangement, the making of foreign policy. These are those determinants. Okay. Then economic and military strength. In the decades succeeding independence, India was economically backward and militarily vulnerable. So this is very true. After independence from Britishers, India was economically very backward because all the wealth was stolen by the brutal Britishers, and military strength was also vulnerable because the arms we had were the arms of the Britishers, and when they went, they took the arms, the tanks, the whatever weapons, they took them all, and we were militarily vulnerable. That is also a determinant of foreign policy because we have to be economically strong and militarily strong. Now we are now we are in a very good position in military strength. We can defeat Pakistan, and China will not fight with us because China also knows that we will give them a very tough challenge if they will attack. So this is because we made our foreign policy like this after Modi ji came to power. Like after 2014, the military strength you can say is doubled in 8 or 9 years. This is the power of government and foreign policy which is made by Narendra Modi ji. And next, domestic and international environment. According to G.F. Cannon, foreign policy, like many other things, begins at home. A country's foreign policy is an exercise in the extension of its self-interest. This is we have discussed previously that foreign policy is the aim of foreign policy to fulfill the interest of the country by interacting with other countries, by giving them something, by helping them, by whatever. This is called international treaty or international relations. Okay. Personal and political factors. J.K. Galbraith said that foreign policy, like domestic policy, is a reflection of the fundamental instincts of those who make it. This is according to J.K. Galbraith. Okay. Basic principles and features of India's foreign policy. What are the features of Indian foreign policy? World peace, the principle of Panchashil, non-alignment, opposition to colonialism, imperialism, and racism, support to United Nations. These are the 5 principles and features of Indian foreign policy. We want world peace. India wants world peace. Okay. Principle of Panchashil. It involves 5 principles such as mutual respect for each other's territory, integrity, and sovereignty. Second is non-aggression. Third is non-interference in others' internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. This is Panchashil. Panchashil is 5 rules: mutual respect for each other's territory, territorial integrity and sovereignty, non-aggression, non-interference in each other's internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. Okay. The principle of Panchashil was adopted in the Bandung Conference of Afro-Asian countries in year 1955. This is a short question. I will upload video on short question after this video. Okay. Non-alignment. The essence of non-alignment is the ability of a state to exercise a reasonable degree of independence of a policy and action in world affairs without joining in any power blocks, east and west. This is non-alignment. That means not making alliance with east or west powers. Okay. It is a independent power to make policies and to act on that policies in world affairs. You should not make alliance with east or west powers to make your foreign policy. You are independent. You have independence to make policy. So this is the feature of Indian foreign policy. Fourth is opposition to colonialism, because India has seen the brutality of colonialism, imperialism, and racism. So India is opposing colonialism, imperialism, and racism in any platform India goes. In United Nations, it opposes colonialism. Whenever India's foreign ministry is asked for opinion, it opposes colonialism, imperialism, and racism. Fifth is support to United Nations. As a member of United Nations, India supports in United Nations. It supports world peace. It supports Panchashil. It supports non-alignment. It supports the opposition to colonialism, imperialism, and racism. So this is the feature of Indian foreign policy. In the next video, I will teach you about the relation of India with China and Pakistan, and the foreign policy with these two neighboring countries. You can say enemy countries. So this is the video. If you are well understood, then say in comment, and if anything is there as doubt, then also comment. Share and subscribe the channel, and make your friends subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching.